and everybody's basically up to full health except for Volgoth, who's got the most health of the bunch. Holy cow. Hello and welcome to Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. I am Colred and I am so close. I am this close to Lydia. So I have been working on my faction crypts for several months, probably about 4 or 5 months, and I am 3 stars away. And today is the day. I only have an hour and 18 minutes left, and the team I have is not going to cut it. So I have to figure out a solution. So I'm going to show you what's going on here. I have cleared to stage 20, and this is my stage 20 team. It is not enough. It is not enough. There is a wave. The second wave on stage 21 has 3 Valkyries. So it's really hard to have that stage work. Basically what happens is if I provoke or if I don't provoke, it doesn't matter. Everybody hits Death Knight. And so I get counterattacks on Death Knight, I get the regular attacks on Death Knight, and Death Knight eventually goes down. Once Death Knight goes down, my Reviver is a level 50, Gorgorab is level 50, so he drops. And then once he drops, it's over, and I can't do anything. So what I think I'm actually going to try to do is I'm going to try to pull Death Knight, Ultimate Death Knight, out of the team, and I'm going to rebuild the team for something completely different. I don't know if it's going to work, but I've got an hour and 18 minutes to figure it out. All right, so that took about 10 minutes. I decided to go with Alagaius for a couple of reasons. One, because he does have some AoE attacks, so I put him in the stun set. And then 2, he can remove those buffs. And then 3, he's got that potential to not die. So he's got a lot of options there. He also, he does one other thing, which is kind of interesting. Let me see if I can find him here. Which really makes him good for faction wars. And it's this second part of the skill here, which I haven't really looked at much. But so if the enemy team has any duplicates of the target champion, we'll also put all their skills on cooldown and place a block buffs debuff on them. So you target one enemy, attack the one enemy, put that target skill on cooldown. But if you have duplicates, it also does that to the duplicates. And we have a wave with multiple martyrs, and then we have a wave with 3 Valkyries. So we can potentially put those skills on cooldown right away, right from the get-go. So we're going to see if we're fast enough. I wanted to get pretty fast so I could open here at 228 and make sure I got that skill off. I also have to remember at the end of wave 1 to cycle so that I have that cooldown available. So I'm just going to jump in right now. I'm going to keep Ultimate Death Knight, which is good. I'm actually just going to pull Gorgorab there, who's not bringing a ton of, he's bringing a little bit of extra turn meter and an increased attack, which I don't need because I have it from Seeker. So then we're going to put in Alagaius and we'll do something like this. All right. So I'm actually probably going to just manual from the get-go just to get used to it. Yeah, we have 3 martyrs here. Oh no, we have 2. We have 2 martyrs here. So I've been using the provokes on the martyrs and that's been working. So now it's Alagaius's turn. And he can put target skill on cooldown. So let's see if we can just do that. Yeah, it worked on both of them. That's great. Going to be here for 7 minutes on this wave. All right, I'm going to get 2 attempts at this maybe. All right, here we go. The first things first. Wow, that's one of the things. The Valkyries get turn meter increase, and when we get buffs. Okay, so. Target skill on cooldown. Yes, all of them on cooldown. That's awesome. This might be the solution. I've had Alagaius for a while, and I just didn't really realize that that's what his skill does. You know, I didn't think about the multiple copies. The second part of it, I was just like, oh, it just puts one champion skills on cooldown, which is like decent, but not awesome. You know, not phenomenal. You're not like, oh, that's going to totally solve faction wars for me. But it does because it's got the copy mechanic in it. Okay, so we are through to the boss. I haven't seen this boss before. Ignores defense, removes all debuffs from this champion, places True Fear on a random enemy. Stun. Fills this turn meter by immune to all of those. Okay, so it doesn't seem too bad. I'm just going to run it on auto and see what happens. This is the kind of thing where I'm going to have to survive a long time. I do not have any revive. I do have a fairly tanky team, but the boss ignores some defense. And the stun's going to slow me down. Vogoth does get some healing off of that. It's interesting that it went through. It's ignoring Ultimate Death Knight's passive. Why would it be doing that? Might consider it an HP balancing effect? I don't know. That's strange. We're doing okay, not great. Nope, and that's it. Okay. That is it. So I think I need to get Ultimate Death Knight some more survivability, but I'm not sure how to do that. I'm going to have to look into that, and then we'll try again. So I got the Husk some additional mastery, so he now has War Master, which should speed up the damage a little bit. And then I put a bolster set on the Vogoth, and that is going to give everybody some additional survivability, some additional shields. And then it'll give Vogoth more life regeneration. He had 2 immortal sets on, so that was 6%. This is now 10%. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Hopefully with the extra damage, we can kill the boss a little bit faster. And with the shield, maybe when we get to the boss, Ultimate Death Knight can survive at least 1 additional hit, maybe 2. And that would be enough, hopefully, to get us over the line. If we don't get it today, I'm out of time. I just started this with literally 15 seconds left on the timer. So we're going to see what we can do. But I do like where the team is. So in 3 days, if we have to complete the faction there, I don't think I'll have to rebuild, or at least not much. The final option is to maybe take Eligaius or somebody up to 6 stars so we can get some more damage there. Or maybe to bring in that second Vogoth, take the Ultimate Death Knight out and try it that way, which would actually not be a bad option. So those are sort of the things that I'm currently thinking about. But you can see on auto, it goes a lot faster. I think this wave took 7.5 minutes the first time. I'm just autoing it right now. When I get close, I will, I'll take it and put it back on manual because I don't want to use that skill right there that we just used. I looked at Ultimate Death Knight's gear, but I really don't have anything better for him, unfortunately. His defense is actually close to 5K, I think. So his defense is pretty high. And I believe his HP is somewhere around 70,000 or 80,000. So he's very tanky. The fact that he takes so much damage in here is a little bit surprising to me. I don't know why that is. Like, that guy hits him really hard. But it's just a reality of what's happening. If I had any kind of healer or support, I think this would be a breeze. Unfortunately, I just have the Vogoth and Ultimate Death Knight. I never thought about this before, but they don't really synergize very well, right? Because Vogoth only heals when he gets hit, and Ultimate Death Knight has the passive, which makes him take every hit. So that's a bit disharmonious, I guess would be the word. They're not really doing the thing that they need to do to keep Ultimate Death Knight alive here. That's where that second Vogoth might do a better job. Provoke's a great it's a great crowd control, although it's a more complicated crowd control because obviously you're still getting hit and you have to figure on A1 effects also applying. But it's definitely a good way to control waves, and it's easier than stuns or it's certainly better than sleeps, but easier than stuns or freezes or even petrification in some cases, because you can get a provoke set, and a provoke set means anybody can use it, and the provoke chance is much higher than in this, like for the stun set. I think the stun set is, I want to say 18%, and the provoke set is, I don't know what the provoke set is. It's much higher. It's like 35 or 40%. All right. All right, now we got a shot here. We've got this nice big shield. Let's use a turn meter. It is going to use a turn up for the shield, but I'm going to use that anyway. I don't think this will stop the boss, but it'll put a... That's nice. He does cleanse debuffs though, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. Oh, if they kill Elgeist right now, I'm gonna be so upset. Maybe we'll go again and I'll get a shield up. Don't. Oh, nice. Bogoth, perfect. And everybody's basically up to full health except for Bogoth, who's got the most health of the bunch. Holy cow. Come on, Husk. Victory! Victory! Yeah, and a legendary tome. That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh man, I am pumped right now. Let's go. Oh, that is awesome. Whew. All right, look, I got 0 keys here because I don't, this isn't open anymore. It's literally a closed crypt. So if I go to stage selection, it's going to tell me, you know, you are lacking crypt keys because I'm not in this crypt. But there we go, 3 stars all the way down. Whew, that was awesome. That was fantastic. And now we are on to the next day. So I do have the Lydia here. The thing is, I'm not sure if this is fragments or you just get the champion. I think you just straight up get the champion. So I'm actually going to leave her there right now because I believe that there is going to be... Is there a champion chase coming up? No, there's no champion chase coming up. So she is a void legendary. That's very good for CVC. Obviously, we just had a CVC. But here's the thing. I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks. I'm leaving in like 3 days. So the question is, do I want to build Lydia before I go? I do. I really do. I want it for Live Arena so bad. I want it for Live Arena so bad. I also don't want to deny you. You can see it is a new day here. New day. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to collect her. I'm going to do it right now. Receive Lydia. That's so underwhelming. I received Lydia, the Death Siren. Let's go look at her. Let's go marvel at her. Let's go by affinity. And where is she? There she is. Lydia, the Death Siren. How good is this champion? How pumped am I? Man, I've been waiting for this for a long time. I've been pushing faction crypts for like 4 months. And I definitely had some sticking points. I had to build some champions just for faction crypts. So definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it. She's an amazing champion, one of the best in the game. Let's look through her kit really quickly. So it's like reading a book. If you look at all of her abilities, they're pretty long. You know, you've got a lot of text you got to read, obviously, but the A1 is the big one in terms of text anyway. So has a 100% chance when booked of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn, has a 100% chance of increasing the duration of any poison sensitivity debuffs. Okay, so that's the active attack, but here's the passive effect. Attacks enemy champions with this skill whenever they place a freeze, stun, fear, true fear, or petrification debuff on an ally. Okay, this does not have a cooldown. This is just whenever this happens, she does that. The number of attacks increases according to how many debuffs are placed at that time. 1 attack for each of those CCs debuff placed. The first attack will target the attacker, while all extra attacks will hit random enemies, can only attack each enemy once. So in arena, you can attack like if somebody drops, let's say an AoE stun, you can hit everybody. Obviously she needs to not be stunned, right? It has to happen to an ally. So, you're not going to attack 4 champions because you only have 4 champions and only 3. So only 3 stuns could possibly apply. But it's also great in Hydra Boss, right? Because when you get the fears that come out there, you can go ahead and just start pounding on the bosses. Okay, so then her AoE is 100% chance of placing decreased defense and weaken on the same skill, which by itself would be sick, by the way, if you just had those 2 debuffs on an AoE. Even if you had it on a single target, it's pretty strong, right? But if you had it on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown, that alone is incredibly powerful. But in addition, she puts a strengthen buff and an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. This is an amazing skill. This is one of the reasons why she's so strong, and you can use her everywhere because there's almost nowhere where strengthen, weaken, and decreased defense don't help, right? So perfect for arena. Obviously, that's why I'm really excited about her. I want her in live arena, but also she's great in Hydra Boss is really where she's going to shine for me. She's going to drop those debuffs. She's going to increase my speed, give me strength. And yeah, I don't know about Clan Boss. I have a great Clan Boss team, so I could mess around with her. She definitely works in some teams. She brings those 2 debuffs. So if you're going with a killable team, sometimes people will run this because the strengthen is really good for that as well. Yeah. Okay, so her A3 is attacks an enemy 2 times, has a 100% chance on the first hit of poison sensitivity, and then the second hit, 100% chance of block buffs and block active skills. This is great for arena, that block buffs and block active skills. Block active skills is really the thing that you want. And again, it's 100% chance. It's also a 2-hitter, which is nice. Yeah. Now, her passive is where it's at. This is why she is just nasty in arena, especially live arena, where like surviving teams are the meta, right? You want long fights. You want a lot of revives. You want a lot of shields. You want defenses. You want, revive on deaths. You want block damage, all that stuff. So this passive denies revive attempts. This works even if she's dead. So if she's alive when an enemy revive is denied, it revives all dead allies. So you can revive your whole team if the enemy tries to revive 1 champion. And then grants an extra turn if there are no dead allies. So if you don't have any dead allies, you still get a benefit, which is that you go next, basically. You get an extra turn right away. Okay. Then there's a second part, which is if this champion is dead, then it revives Lydia. So if Lydia is dead, it revives Lydia. If Lydia is alive, it'll revive everybody else in your team. And this skill will ignore block revive. So if you're coming up against Mortu Macabres, if you're coming up against Folies, if you're coming up against Rotos, you can put Lydia in. And as long as you use a revive somewhere on the team, I'm sorry, as long as the enemy uses a revive somewhere on the team, then you can bring back your whole team. You can bring back Lydia. It doesn't matter about the block revive. So somebody brings in a Siphi and a Rotos, and the Rotos has the block revive on it, then the Rotos dies. Now the Siphi is going to bring back the Rotos, and you're going to get your whole team back. It's an incredibly powerful passive. She's awesome. Let's check out her. Let's check her out in the index. I'm so excited. This is crazy good. Let's check out her stats. 21k base HP, really solid. She does damage based on attack, and she has a relatively low attack. She's not going to do a ton of damage. She's not there to do a ton of damage, but she is very, respectably 21k, almost 1300 defense, which is pretty good. For a support champ, it's pretty good. For a defensive based champ, it's not great. 110 speed, which is excellent. So yeah, she has pretty good base stats, and I am just excited to have her on my roster. Welcome, Lydia. Oh, it's been a long road. You can't pull her from a shard. You have to get her from Faction Crypts. And let's go enjoy just one last time before we leave. Let's go to the Faction Crypts and just look at all the 63s. I'm pretty sure it was exactly 2 years to the day that I got Lydia. So super excited. I'm really happy. If you can't tell, I've got the adrenaline pumping in my veins right now. I'm going to go build her out. I'm going to throw her in Live Arena. Live Arena is live right now, so I'm going to use her in like 10 minutes. I'm going to build her out and see what we can do in Live Arena. I'm going to put her in a team, even if it doesn't make any sense to put her in a team, just because I'm so excited to have her. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here when I hit one of those great Raid Shadow Legends milestones that I've been wanting to hit for so long, that so many people want to hit. Yeah, it's just an exciting day for me here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you liked the video. Let me know, did you get your Lydia yet? Are you closing on the Lydia? Are you going to get it before the new Sylvan Watchers faction crypt is released? Or are you just all set for the Sylvan Watchers faction? You know, do you have your team set up and ready to go? Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I've been Cole Red, and I'll see you in another video soon.